In the world where everything is just turning like this, this is the vent. I'm your host, Jay Hunterville, aka Jamie Hunter. We got the Nerd Z here.
Hey.
We got Del Pesh from the shadows.
From
somewhere.
the shadows. The voice, the man, the mystery.
Yeah.
Style King, aka Captain Corners, aka Mr. Corners, aka KD.
All right.
Here. Wait, I'm not done. Okay, I'm playing. I'm playing.
Okay, so it was just last week where I was telling you guys how Jamaica mashed up the place.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good day. May 23.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I can remember like it was yesterday.
Right?
A week
May
ago.
31st.
Now everything, like this was just about a week ago. To now.
You know what we could do? We could do a quick like recap. So like right now we had a good versus, and then unfortunately we had a death of a police incident in Minnesota. Then you have all types of crazy shit.
It just seemed like a lot of things. Like, for example, the first one I've heard was the Amy Cooper situation.
The Amy Cooper, yeah. That was this week. Wow.
You know, the guy telling Amy to,
put your dog on a leash.
Put your leash on. Put your dog on a leash.
Follow the rules.
She's like, mad.
Follow the rules.
Thank God he had his video recording because he's telling her to follow the rules. She's like, I'm gonna call the cops, and I'm gonna tell them it's a black man assaulting me
with a helmet on.
A black man threatened for my life.
It was a black man with a helmet threatening my life.
And she calls the cops saying there's a black man threatening for my life. The man just waited for her to put on the leash and then he took off. Well,
she yoked up her dog in the process too.
Put out the footage on Twitter. Everybody's outraged. Some people, I don't know, because it's like when I watched the read the comments, some people were outraged at what she did. Other people were outraged of the dog.
Yeah.
I mean, both are wrong, regardless.
Yeah.
But the whole thing of just calling the cops and being like, "Oh, black man threatened for my life." Wow. It could have went anywhere.
Like she snapped her fingers. Like, come here now. This guy's harassing me.
So it's kind of like, it's kind of like a death wish. You know what I mean? Like when a white woman says, "Hey, this is happening," boom! Like these guys are coming to the rescue to like. She could be lying. I mean, we saw when they see us, we saw all these situations. But white woman calls us on the phone. "Oh, I'm threatened for my life." There's no information check. There's no, "Hey, what's going on with the situation?" He could have died. He could have got arrested for something he never did. Right?
Now,
lucky the cameras are rolling.
Now, currently, I think she's on paid leave right now.
I think she's fired. She's on paid leave or she got fired. I thought she got fired.
I thought she was suspended.
Suspended, yeah. It's just a...
Yeah.
I think she was on leave. I think she was fired.
Fired? So
I think she's fired.
Because the board has to make a decision on whether, like...
What field of work was she from?
I don't know what field of work she was, but they fired. I believe she was fired, and they took the dog.
Yeah, they took the dog back. Yeah,
took the dog back
because they found abuse.
Was it PETA?
No, it
was a shelter. I guess she got the dog from.
Yeah, they saw bruises on the dog. Like the dog was yoked up and everything. Yeah, man.
Yeah, so
I want to know if PETA is involved in these.
I don't know if PETA is involved.
Yeah, all these abuse from owners, especially in situations like that.
Well, she was not Mike Vick, so they'll probably leave that under the rug. Anyway. So
that's a sad truth. I mean, they still hate him to this day. To this day.
So sorry, all red jokes remain true. But then George Floyd's situation comes up in Minnesota. The footage comes out.
I couldn't watch it.
I couldn't watch it.
Yeah, I didn't bother to watch it.
Like he cried out for his mom, bro. His mom's, I think, passed away. Like it's a lot. It's a lot, which caused, people outrage and people protesting. Protesting became looting, and it was so weird. Like I don't know, if, like we're from Toronto, we're in the GTA, wherever. You know what I mean? For me, it went Amy Cooper, George Floyd, and Houdini. R.I.P. Houdini. He was a famous Toronto rapper. Had big things going for him, but passed away. Then I forgot the name, Regis, on Wednesday. It was Tuesday or Wednesday. Apparently police pushed her off the balcony.
That's alleged, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Alleged, yeah.
I don't know the whole story exactly, but the problem is like
I think over a domestic dispute, and then
they called the police for help, and some reason she got pushed off the balcony.
Yeah.
And
she who has mental health issues.
Not cool at all. Protests been running crazy in the States, and
like Minnesota, Atlanta, Los Angeles, San Jose.
Minnesota's burning. They burnt like 4 or 5 police stations. I don't know how much stations they burned down, but they burned down enough police stations.
Now the crowd of people is what's interesting about this protest.
The crowd of people is interesting because it seems, based off the footage, it seemed diverse. It's not only black people in the crowd. There's a lot of people in the crowd. Like, it's funny because, not funny, but funny's not the word.
Interesting.
But it's just interesting
how,
like, the witchcraft people pulled up, hex on white supremacy. You had Batman show up. You had the Amish showed up. The Amish pulled up from the radio. They heard it on the radio and said, "Oh no, set up the horse and carriage. Let's go over there."
I'm rolling.
Tony Baker said how they were churning butter, and the man said, "Say what? That's what they did." The Amish pulled up to the protest. Yeah. Think about that. Think about that, guys. A protest, and which people that believe in witchcraft showed up to the protest.
No Satan. Hashtag no Satan. I don't go down.
The Amish people that I don't even think they have radios in Amish. They probably read it on the newspaper that came in and said, "Do you hear this? Yo, set up the horse and carriage. Yo, we're out there. We're biggieing over there." And Batman pulled up. We're waiting for the Obia people. I believe they're probably already there, ready to turn hard-boiled eggs into grenades.
I'm
joking. Sorry, I shouldn't make no joke about that. But
this week's been a lot.
It's been a lot, and celebrities are getting canceled left and right.
Oh, you forgot you forgot the big one. Anon, the infamous Anon.
The infamous Anonymous showed up. They entered the chat and started exposing a bunch of stuff, but it happened like this morning or last night. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Yesterday to
everything exposed.
Today, yeah.
I don't want to allege. I don't know what is confirmed. I've seen certain stuff, but I just don't want to say something that I will regret later. Because there's a lot of things that came out from Anonymous, and I'm just like, geez. Ugh. But how do you guys feel about the protests? I think we already discussed. We just let you guys know. We already discussed this personally with each other, and I'm tired. Like, I don't know if everybody else is tired, but I'm tired of debating, and we all have differences into this. So, I mean, hey, you guys can start if you want to start.
I think it's at the point where the spirit of Ogon has touched down, and I think I don't know if it was the Amy Cooper situation or seeing the footage of Floyd, but something just sparked this week, and people are just like, you know what, enough's enough. And like I read earlier, like if violence is the only language and fire is the only thing you would understand, we're gonna give you that. And that's the level people are at right now.
Fire burn, fire burn. Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry. I know that's the wrong thing to do, but
yeah, man, people are fed up, man.
I believe so. I believe everybody's fed up. I feel like just different situations coming at once, like it's like a chain combo. Like people are pissed. People are mad. People are upset, and they're like, you know what? Enough's enough. We're not like they're mad. Like you can't contain or control that anger and hurt that people have been experiencing, that Black people have been experiencing all this time. This it's been too common to hear about Black people dying by cops, that the people that's supposed to protect and serve. Mm-hmm. Way too common. Way too common. And even if, you know, people say this and that about the media or whatever, but that's what they put out there all the time. Mm-hmm. So of course, if it looks like it's common, something is wrong here. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And there's always two sides to a story. So of course people are going to be pissed and going to protest. Of course people are going to want to burn the same police station down that those guys were at. You know? Of course people are going to want to get mad and light up place and, you know, loot, I guess. I mean, looting, I'm a little bit...
Yeah, looting, I don't know what to say. I'm really for the looting.
I'm not sure about that, but I mean, every action is a counter reaction. So, hey, if cops are getting defas and getting boxed up in their face or things are happening, hey, one apple did spoil the whole bunch there. You know what I mean? And this is a bit more than one apple. Mm-hmm. When you look back at the situation, they said, oh, he should even be in the force. All the things he's done already.
And he got away
with.
In response to that, I think the whole department needs to be taken off. Not just him.
Like the chief and
the chief, I think the people who whoever assigns him the weapons, whoever was there to follow up with the paperwork and knew that he had rifled off 12 bullets when all that was necessary was 2 or maybe none. You know,
when was this? That was the background, like the back in the.
No, this is like previous accounts where he had shot somebody like 12 times.
Oh, and Lord. Wow.
And it was like the person was dead. This is beyond now, right? So I do apologize for some of the language that's going to be used. It may be triggering to some people who are listening, or some of the explanations and situations. But yeah, like there has been previous stuff. There have been previous accounts where he clearly went above and beyond, exerting his power. And every time he was dismissed. There have been many cases where people have filed against him and those things were dismissed. So everybody who's in that department, who oversees him, that is responsible for him, all that stuff, all those people should be also included in the charges for, what's the word?
Because right now he's on 3rd degree right now, which is iffy.
Right, which is crazy.
Manslaughter, basically.
Right? It should be first degree. But I understand why they're doing it like that, because it's not, he's under his job. If he was not under his job, which entails that he is exposed to these things, that is his duty. That is the reason why. He's given a command, he's going to be excused for that. Not saying it's right, but that's the reason why they're subjugate it as manslaughter or third degree instead of being first degree. It should be first degree, hands down, because he used excessive force, and then on top of it, he has multiple history. He has history of doing this stuff.
Now the story gets weird because they're familiar with each other too.
Apparently, they worked at the same security firm. Allegedly, I don't know if it's true.
10 years, roughly, yeah.
George and him.
Yeah, they're familiar, which makes it weird. Yeah.
This should even be more of a reason to be first degree.
That's what I'm saying, right?
How do you guys feel about the protest, though? Like what people are doing in the protest?
Well, I personally don't know the history of Minneapolis, and I don't know their police to public or police to civilian attitude and interaction. Like, you know how it is in Chi-Town or Detroit or New York or Atlanta. Those places, it's very like in your face. They tell you about the injustice that's going on, right? So Minnesota, I'm not too familiar about. You know, I don't know what's going on there. But to see the protesting, do I agree with all of that? No. Do I agree with the burning down and breaking buildings and all the other stuff? No, I do not. Absolutely do not. What I do feel is necessary is them sitting in front of whatever government building. Even, you know what? If you sat in front of your MP or district person, I would have preferred that. Go and sit in front of their home.
Interesting.
Because they're the people who have the power to make the decisions. Go and upset them. Hit where it hurts.
Wait, so just to throw a curveball, you're saying because they blew out a Planet Fitness, so you're saying the owner of the Planet Fitness wouldn't call what you said, the DA or the district attorney or whatever?
Yeah.
So wouldn't it work the same way because they'll be on their phone going, "Hey, can you control this? Like they're burning my business down. Like help, do something." Right. Isn't that pressure the same way?
This is true.
It's extreme to burn something down, but like
it is extreme to burn something down, and I do understand where it's like as a business, okay, you're gonna call it and say, okay, this neighborhood isn't the greatest, etc., etc. But I'm looking at it in the sense of the long term. Right? A lot of the reason for inflation or unsuitable living after situations like this is because it's due to situations like this. I'm not saying it's right, but this is what is the aftermath, right? Cost of living has to take time to repair instead of just continue.
Wait, so do me a favor and just mute the IG of your side because it's echoing a little.
I don't know how you do that, but for me, the protests, I think people are just fed up. I think people are just like, you know what, enough's enough. That's just what it is. Like they're tired. Like it's only so much Black people can take, and people that are standing by Black people can take.
See, but then that's you know what I would be really where I feel like the violence would definitely be necessary. I want to see more videos of the amount of times that people went in to like change those policies and they kept getting rejected.
Well, that's something I guess we have to see. But at the same time, Black people are not necessarily they're not the majority in the US. I don't know how it is here or whatever. They're not. They are not the majority. Black people are not the majority in the US.
It's only 46. I think 46 million accounted for, yeah.
So, but the thing about it is
46%?
46 million.
What? What are you talking about?
What?
In population, there 46 million.
And Black people.
Yeah, and there's 60 million Hispanic. And then basically everyone else is white.
60 million?
No, I'm just saying percentage, majority and minority.
Yes.
Right. So,
that's
for me...
wild. When did it get so high?
I mean...
Hispanic are breed. They breed, man.
Nah, don't do that. But anyway, I was saying that, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if people were protested went to the offices already, I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe there was a certain way they did it and it didn't work. Maybe it just doesn't work a certain way. But hey, I like the fact that the protest does show that there's a lot of people that want to stand for this. I like the fact that social media shows that hey, there's a lot of people that are standing for this. The legitimacy about it, I don't know, but right now it seems like everybody is standing for that one thing. You know what I mean?
I think
Everybody's standing for Black lives. Now,
I think with the
I guess
Hmm?
it's kind of like how I guess I kind of feel a little like how Little Wayne feels when he was talking to Fat Joe. He's not that fat anymore, but
he's Slim
you
Joe
know,
now. He's Slim.
right, Slim Joe, where he was making the statement of just to me, like I'm paraphrasing obviously, or from what I gathered, the gist of what he was saying was standing in the streets. Do half the people even know what you're standing up for? That's one. Two, in doing so, how does that really contribute to change per se? Like actual change? Because he was saying, I'm not going to do the following because it's like, it's the equivalent of buying a t shirt or sending a prayer or he was saying that you standing in the street and protesting is the equivalent of doing those things.
That's a wild.
It's not actually
That's a wild statement.
I really and truly don't believe Lil Wayne is the best person to talk about things like this.
And I'm not a fan of him.
Because as much as I am a fan of Lil Wayne, this is the same guy that said, "Oh, Black lives don't matter. I matter."
We did an episode.
Weezy matter. We did an episode about this, so I'm not gonna take his word as validity. I get it. He was pissed at whoever he was pissed at, but there's a time to say things, and there's a time not to say things.
He said that after the Emmett Till lyric too.
He said after Emmett Till lyric. So there's a time for people to say things, a time for people not to say things, right? Mm-hmm. So in regards to protests, I'm down with the protests. I am. Like, I was nervous at first because I'm like, yo, but at the same time, people are pissed off. Poor people fed up. Mm-hmm. Everybody's fed up. Black people are fed up. You know what I mean? Like, and we had a Karen moment in the protest. The woman came out with a wheelie. She came with the wheelie and the knife, trying to stab people, and they fire extinguish her. She goes on the news talking about, oh, Black people mash her up. And then there's footage of her walking normally, and then there's footage of her fighting, doing all this nonsense. He said when she was the one trying to stab people with a knife. Then you had MAGA Hawkeye with the bow and arrow. Mm-hmm. News footage says that, oh, I got beat up by 2 black guys.
But it says that he's in Utah, and he said that.
Right. And he tried to say he got beat up by a bunch of black guys when he was the one that came with a crossbow. What is it? A cross? Yeah, bow and arrow.
Bow and arrow, yeah.
Talk about all lives matter. Looking for someone to let go of the string on. Mm. He tried to sling it on somebody, and they said, beat his ass, beat his ass, beat his ass. And it wasn't even black people. It was white people that bust his ass. Like, bust him up. Mash up his car, set his car on fire, all that.
They torched his car, yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There are people that are like, I'm not saying, hey, people are upset. So people are going to button down things. People are going to do stuff.
Wait,
they're going to do stuff.
Let me time travel a second.
I was actually thinking to go on Amazon or go on eBay and just like Google, like, you know, what's on sale right now, because the amount of looting in Minnesota, I don't know. You know what I mean? People probably try to flip. I'm not, no joke, but, you know, people might be doing stuff. But
we're going to edit that part out. But I just want to time travel.
Yeah, we'll edit it out, but I'm joking. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to, but protests, I believe everybody's fed up. So they're like, yo,
I was gonna time
They
travel back to
built it for
like
free, so might as well tear it down. Why can't they tear down what they built?
I'm gonna go back to like Wayne's point, like nothing's wrong with the question, like just know what you're protesting. But then
Yes, there's another one too.
but then but I think people are more upset of him being the messenger saying that as opposed to because they're really like you're saying this at all people? You're a druggie, allegedly.
But if it's right, it's right though. Like,
but it's not right. That's the
but
thing.
he's saying you're going out there. I hope you know exactly what you're going out there and protesting about. I think that's valid. You're not just out there to stand. You're not just there to show face, and then tomorrow you're still doing the same behavior that's incriminating or oppressive.
Fair. That is a protest. You're right. I believe a protest is informative. It should be informative as well. You know what I mean? Like all protests, yes, they start out peacefully, but sometimes a cop feels himself in armor a bit too much, decides to punch a man, and then things go left. You know what I mean? Sometimes it takes just one. You've seen it where like a cop tried to pepper spray the man. The man had his mask on, lift off his mask and pepper sprayed him. He tried to make sure he was trying to do damage to people. You know what I mean? Not everybody, like we saw Selma. Same thing happen now. People, you know, police been doing this. They arrest a CNN reporter for what? For what?
They did, yeah. I remember reading that.
You know what I mean? Sometimes I do believe the cops do insinuate riots and cause the shit worse and make it happen. But I also do believe there's people that are in the protest that are not for the movement.
For the cause, yeah. You can
not
tell.
For the cause. They just want to riot. They just want to start something up. There's bare footage that you see, you know, white people running around typing NAACP or spraying Black Lives Matter, and black people are like, no. What are
That's
you doing?
not what it is. Exactly.
This is the same people that win a sports championship in their city and they'll tear the city up.
Yes.
These are the same people.
Or lose and tear the city up.
Or lose it and tear the city up. Shout out to Oakland. But anyways.
Yes, and there are undercover cops. We saw it in, was it Texas or one of those places? Some people don't think cops don't know what they're doing. You know, some cops were like, you know what? We need a new car. We need to get this ride off. Bring it into the ride. Let them mash it up. And we can ride it off.
So if we know, but that's what I'm saying. So if we know all of that is happening, right? This is why I go back to my first thing. Go sit in front of the DA's house, park yourself there, and just sit there.
Well, not everybody's gonna know the DA's house. That's one.
Well, not yet.
Well, not yet.
Exactly.
Not yet. But I mean, at the same time, I do believe protests in the middle of the street, busy streets where business runs and operates, yeah, that doesn't impact. Yes, I understand if you loot a Target and mash up a Target, they write that off. That's why I don't believe someone should come out with a knife and a wheelie bike, whatever, to try to stab people to save Target. Like, Target is not saving you. Like, you know what I mean? They're not gonna pay for your health bills.
Or go sit in front of the justice houses.
I do believe that is the next move. I just want to see how much people are gonna go follow through, because I do believe protests are informative. Social media is informative as well. Like, I want to see, like, Toronto. I don't know if anything's happening in Toronto. I did see like posts where people are like, oh, next week Saturday they're gonna start a riot at another protest, and people are like, don't do this. But at the same time, I also believe, like, you know, people are being informed, and I hope after all these protests, people are jamming lines. What I mean jamming lines, that everybody that was oppressed, pissed off and yelling Black Lives Matter, are calling their city state reps, their justice system people. Like, I don't know the numbers. I don't know what they call them in different states. I don't know what they call it here. MPs here and stuff, and jamming their phones. So the phone is so busy they can't make any calls.
The states would be the governor. Yeah, the governor, mayor.
Wherever it is, governor, mayor, prime minister, whatever it is, we're calling to say something's wrong here, because I think that makes an impact just as much. Yes, if you're gonna protest, I like, for example, my best example I'd have, don't protest on Eglinton West, because there's a lot of black business there, and if people want to riot and people want to start it, they're gonna start it, and then they're gonna attack our own businesses. They're gonna throw a hole through Randy's patties. And I don't know who's brave enough to do that without getting kick off and thump off. But there's gonna be people that'll try that shit. Go to the areas where it's a business, like Young and Eglinton,
Bay Street,
or somewhere else,
Bloor,
like Bay Street, Bloor, like where the people are in the offices and they have to pay for parking, but they can't get into their parking spaces because the protest is there. Give it to those people.
But you have to remember, those people, most of those people actually don't even live in Toronto.
That's fine. So imagine how worse that is.
No, it's not fine. It's not fine at all.
For who?
Because they can go back home and leave Toronto.
That's not the point is coming on the 401 and going on these places and going to your, can you imagine going to your workplace from wherever you came from?
So it's Ajax,
can't get
Mississauga,
in Ajax,
Scarborough,
Mississauga, wherever, to go to your workplace and can't get into your parking spot, or can't even get to work because there's a protest?
Money waste up.
Money waste up.
Why are you late? I'm not late.
Why are you late? It's a protest. And imagine whatever business they have that is like a big business, or I don't know what it is, that they have to be there at a certain time to get things done. They can't leave. They can't even start work. So now they have to stay late.
Yo, it'd be wild if they hack the Zooms.
Make it their issue too. Exactly. You got to make things their issue too. So jam the phone lines. What if the man said, I want to call to have a coffee? I want to tell them my order for them to do a Timmy's run, and the lines are plugged. The lines are plugged. They can't call because someone keeps calling. People have done it with the CRA when it was a Serb. Mans couldn't call for no Serb. Why can't people do it for something like this? It should be worse. They should be getting email. Imagine you as the MP or whatever, getting 50,000 or 30,000 people sending the same email every day. Yeah. You can't even get the important ones.
Yeah. Oh, that part.
Well,
you can't even get to the important parts. I'm not saying, yes, we're doing protests now. We're doing this stuff. But this is how we should, that's after this protest and all this stuff, that's where we should go. Social media, we do this and we go crazy. You know what I mean? But at the same time, a lot of people think like, oh, it's not so bad because, we're not America. You know what I mean? Or whatever. But
I feel like
complacency is there.
I understand that we're neighbors to them, but I don't think that we have to carry out the same nature as them. That's what I think. I also think that with certain things, especially the education system, and I can only speak on what I know here in Toronto, right? We have a better system than some of the education system over there in New York, in Florida, in Miami. So, and even the way that our distribution of what is over here seems to be better, right? So that's one. Two, yeah, it's just, I feel like people put things together better over here, right? Like I said, over here, Chinese descendants has a stitched policy within the Canadian government that is enforced, and they are reminded every single day. And I don't remember any protests happening. I don't recall of any historical anything going on for that to happen, right? And I'm not saying that I'm trying to compare people's like
plight and everything,
adversities, or a plight, but I'm just saying that someone saw that they were in a rock and a hard place, and they made do and moved forward with it. right? By getting
Some of
whatever they
them, but yeah,
do.
that's another thing too. Like
And
some
now,
Chinese people, they brought money,
and now
they
some of them
brought
own.
money with them,
They
and
own
they set up shop here. Some of them came with the money and set up shop. I
the
mean,
yeah, like they own
there's
parts
a
of
lot of
Toronto
people
too.
that's yeah. At the same
Okay,
time,
but there are some people who were able to set up shop here and make money too that are black people. So
right?
why are we excusing those ones? I don't
Hold on
like
one
that.
second.
I really don't like the fact that we don't look at certain things as progress. You know, yes, I understand it's an injustice. Yes, I understand that, this guy, he killed somebody. Um, however, you know, I would rather take the time to go and look into the actual textbooks and see how the police training is and how certain things are than
Well,
to be like going in the street. That would be my way of protesting. That's my silent protest. To go and
mm,
find all the things to go and change and see. Go and infiltrate by looking into how the police are being trained. What's the
well,
language? How are they going about in targeting people? Because there are people who are black. Just the other day, I saw two cops, and I'm not trying to say black on black crime, but I'm trying to say that it seems to be a collective thing of cops altogether, regardless of the nationality. So altogether, there just seems to be a higher count of white cops than there are of other minorities or people of color. But
well,
systemically, what is it that's being conditioned that they feel the need to like actually target a group of people or exercise in a specific way or exert power in a specific way? That stuff I would want to figure out first and then go forward. That's
well.
me.
That's
I think I
it's long.
think the answers are already out though. Like for
It's
It's
like it's
example,
like a kid. Like if and I guess this is my teacher hat perspective that I'm looking at. A kid can go out there and start bullying people, and I could look at that kid and kick him down a flight of stairs for bullying people, right? For bullying other kids. But until I
you can't
realize,
as a teacher.
I know
You can't
I
kick.
can't as a teacher, but if I were somebody on the outside, right, see this kid who's bullying, and I see this child and I say, okay, listen, I can kick down the kid, or I can stand up and start busting down the school because the principal and the other teachers aren't recognizing that this child is harassing other people, right? Or I can take a time to like figure out what's going on in that child's life, understand who their parents are, and what is that child being socialized to think or believe or whatever, right? And then I can modify where necessary. That's how I feel about this whole situation. These
Um,
cops like a galleon of galleon, not a galleon.
I do believe like you know the one thing I've realized and I've heard and I've watched certain information and stuff. A barber takes more time in school than a police officer does. Certain barbers
Barber spends more time.
in school learning stuff than a
So
police
right there,
does.
that's a problem.
That's
Right off
one.
the bat.
That is one. But
Right.
at the same time, we got to think about how police officers originated, how it started, and how some things are actually deeply embedded, like in white supremacy. So there's certain things you got to think. There's some people that become cops because they got bullied too,
Yeah.
or there's that's why there has to be some. I'm not saying all cops are bad cops, but
Right.
yes, there are some things that there's a blue wall of justice as well that covers everything. Like it's kind of weird.
There's
Like for me,
a
when I
slight
see,
enmity, yes.
and it happens in Toronto too, because sometimes when I watch, like, I hear someone on City News and I hear something happen, and then when I hear
Mhm,
the SIU is investigating, I'm like, ooh, it
mhm,
sounds like, to me, it's kind of like, uh-oh, it's either they're trying to find out what happened and they're trying to cover it up,
mhm,
or find the best way to say a lie. You know what I
mhm,
mean?
mhm,
Because sometimes there is footage, like certain things there is full footage, and then the cops will still get off and leave with pay.
mhm,
Paid
You
leave,
know
yeah.
what I mean? Pay, like, how you leaving with pay?
mhm,
Like, do people like me or everybody else get fired with pay? No, you're fired, you're done. You get your
mhm,
last check and that's it. How
yeah,
they telling you to go on vacation and come back, or go
mhm,
work in another force?
mhm,
You know what I mean? So I feel like there is a deeper thing that comes to police officers, like I do, and then in the States or even here, there is a thing where, yeah, there's people that hate black people for whatever reason. Maybe it's the way we walk, the way we talk, it's
Like
whatever.
it's like a ingrained behavior that's
It's an
been
engraved behavior.
passed down
Like, I
generation to
do believe
generation
it's
to
passed on.
generation. Yeah.
You know, I feel like racism is taught because I feel like it is a mental illness as well. But I don't know. I feel like
People
it's
say
more, huh?
mental illness.
Wait, what was that? What was that?
Pardon?
Mental illness, because then they're gonna try and in the courts and use that as a defense.
Oh,
So
come on. Well, that's true, but they already do with school shooters. So hey,
That's an
they
interesting
they
take. Why can't
you
the
know what
person
I
just
mean?
be a why can't this person be a douchebag with a gun instead of just they're just mental?
You know what I
why can't
mean?
someone just be a douchebag with a gun?
I mean, but at the same time, yeah. So, and let me, and that's the thing. You got to look at certain things. Like, you have school shooters and they take them to Burger King before they take them to jail for them to leave and say it's a nothing. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I can't. Yeah, it's, in the words of Ira, yeah, it's not a mess. It's practice and invested in. You can unlearn racism.
mhm,
Yeah, you can. I mean, look at the people that are racist that still like oxtail, still like our stuff, still like certain things. They don't like us.
but they like the product of us.
They like the
Yeah, they like
there
the
you
product of
say
us.
that
They
one
like
more
what we
say
bring up.
that one more Z.
They like what we bring up. You come on. You probably back in the day, you probably had this person that said, "Oh my gosh, I like beef patties," but parents won't let. They like beef patties, but they wouldn't let you in their household.
Right.
They don't want you to come over for a sleepover.
Mhm.
Yo, those sleepovers, holy. I want
You
to
know
do it
what I
with
mean?
family.
Glad I never did. But you see what I'm saying? Like, it's just, there is something there that needs to be stated, and I feel like, but through this protest and through these things going on social media, it's kind of like you're watching the people that are quiet, but at the same time, a lot of people are watching celebrities and how they address this.
Yeah,
You know
because
what I
a lot
mean?
of them, like all these people who got up, like the other day I had a conversation with a friend and I was saying, he was basically saying
Hmm.
that we were talking about Candace Owens. Candace Owens had said something and he was going on about whatever and saying how he don't like her and she's a coon and this and that and whatnot, right?
Black people should high key
So,
stop saying the word coon, but that's a whole nother
right?
tangent. But
I was like, okay, stop
Oh
screaming.
no! Don't tell me my. Oh, I thought my internet's Marshall.
So I was like, what is it that you're so opposing of her like opinion, So when he went on to say like, oh, she's basically she's going against a group that's supposed to stand for black people, that's supposed to be in favor of black people, that is supposed to be helping with justice thing, and she's there trying to like advocate against or even just paint a picture otherwise than the benefits of black people, right?
Hmm.
And I was like, well, if you're going to call her that, you're going to have to call a lot of people who took the time to benefit off of other people's well being, knowing that it was going to um, make people worse off, right? So this was including a lot. I listed like a whole group of musicians. I listed a few actors. I listed a few people, and what I mean, the uproar that I received. No, you can't say that about that person. They changed this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, so how does it make any difference? Because now all of a sudden they turn a new leaf, or what is it that's now accepting when in order for them to be in the position that they're in now, they had to stand on the shoulders and kick a few people down. So why do they not get the same cloak of being a coon per se, like Candace Owen, who is just currently up front with it? And I mean, I understand her reasoning for why she's against the AANCP. So
what? So what was the question you're asking? Because I'm confused. So
I forgot the question you were basically asking me.
Oh no, what I was asking is just like the celebrities there's celebrities that are being canceled due to this protest and things going on and based off what they said. Like, how do you feel about that? You know what I mean? Like, B. Simone is getting canceled.
Just to rattle off names: Killer Mike, T.I.
I don't know if Killer Mike got Killer Mike. T.I.
LL Cool J's in a weird spot right now.
LL Cool J, all these celebrities, Desi Banks,
yeah.
Right.
I'm still like, I don't know what was said. I honestly, I saw the tweet that Desi sent, and I'm not really against what he said. And like, same with like B. Simone, I'm not against what they said. I think people's interpretation is a lot to do with the tone, right? Sometimes things, it's funny because like sometimes it may not be the best time to say it, but it needs to be said, and it needs to be said in order for whatever ends up at the end of it, it can echo in your mind, whoever said whatever, because then you see the relevance of it afterwards. That's how.
Sure. No, you're right. I think off rip, there's a time for everything. There is a time. There's a time for everything. And the thing about these type of issues, like for example, like if we're talking B. Simone, it's shaky when people say, I'm a Christian. Something like, I hate when I hear something like, I'm a Christian, this, that, and the
Lord
third.
told me.
The Lord told me this, that, and I'm like, please, because the Lord told me, pastor told me that the Lord said to him that I would have my wife 3-4 years ago, and I'm still single right now.
Wow, that confused me.
I'm not gonna take what the pastor or what the Lord said. Like, we're not doing broken telephone with Jesus. No, we're not doing that. That's one.
But you have to also remember, mind you, a lot of people don't take in that the human error is all about comprehension.
Yeah, I guess.
Right? It's the word, but how I comprehend it and how you comprehend it are two different ways of comprehensions. Right. As well as our experiences when reading the word will have a different paradigm to how we look and take in what is being said to us.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and
actually, let me throw a curveball.
Also, I feel like
wait, hold on.
One question. I feel like what B. Simone kind of said, sort of, was like, because I'm a Christian, I'm not gonna be. I'm mad, but I'm not gonna be an angry black mad woman, or like, it just felt very weird. Like, it was like, you can't be like, oh, because I'm a Christian, I can't get mad. Like, it's just this weird spiral.
I have to be loving to everybody.
Right. Like, Jesus didn't flip over tables and made a custom whip and dealt with mans that were doing injustice. You know what I mean? I think the Bible said there's a time to speak and there's a time to chill. And I think it wasn't wise to say things like that, especially in the heat where everybody else is mad. Like, where people are around, I think it's time for people to feel with people right now.
You're saying people should get empathy right now.
Empathy, like understand that, like,
not hey, don't mash up my business. Hey,
right,
don't go in this city. Hey, just violence beget
some
violence.
people will say, yeah, because some people will say things because they're afraid of the check.
Why is that a bad thing?
Because it shows that your money is more important than situations that's going on in the world right now.
Wait, let me throw two.
Some people believe.
Wait, let Kadeem throw his curve.
I was gonna throw two. So I was gonna curve and say,
yeah.
People look at it as like, wait a minute, you guys are on TV, you guys are shown, you're in the spotlight. But when a serious situation comes up, you guys are either silent or you just say, kumbaya. So a situation we're speaking about right now, they're looking at it as like you said just now, empathy. If you're not, the first thing you say is please be safe or something like that to extent. But when people try to dismiss it or comprehend that the celebrity is dismissing it, that's when people go, okay, you can go with your brand or whatever because you don't care. Like the first thing out of your mouth is don't mash up my business or don't
mash up my money coming in. But you got to understand as well.
Why is that wrong to say?
You got to understand.
You can get your justice and do whatever you want. If you want to go and fight the oppressors and the colonizers, by all means, but just don't fuck up my shit while you do.
Okay, fair enough.
Wrong with saying that?
Hold on. For B. Simone, I think we got to be like B. Simone was someone that was big off Instagram. Therefore, there's a lot of people that
big off of a lot of things, but yes.
I would say Instagram was one of the key things. Her Instagram posts of, where everybody knows like
the skits.
When she talk about the skits, that's what she's known for. Before, she's not wild. That's what she's known for.
Actually, hold on. Actually, she was known for cosplaying.
She was known before that.
She was known for doing Aaliyah cosplay. Actually, that's what I found out.
Aaliyah cosplay too, but what I know for sure was the skit of her talking about a man coming in hard and and they come and mess up her whole life and she's been looking for a man. Yes. Okay, now, turning the cheek during the time the Romans are pursuing Christians, turn each on their cheek to get the Roman. It was the way to use the rule. Okay,
rules against themselves.
Well, hold on. We'll talk about that. We'll get there. B. Simone was invested, like people, her own people invested in her own black people invested in her. Before she got to Wild 'N Out, it was her people.
Yes.
So when things are happening to your people,
half her people because she's biracial, but yeah.
Well, yeah, say biracial, yeah, but at the same time, I wasn't thinking that. You know what I mean? I didn't know she was biracial because there's family that
right now it changes.
Black, just boom, you know what I mean? So
now it changes your
it's
whole.
It's crazy how God works, but
okay.
I'm just, for her, I can say that she's invested. She, like, her black people are invested to her. If it wasn't for the black people, I would say, and stuff like that watch her stuff, share her stuff, post her stuff, buy her stuff, she wouldn't be on Wild 'N Out. There wouldn't be a buzz. So now that you're seeing things happening to your people, yes, from a long time we've been oppressed, but right now where people are saying stuff and saying enough's enough, you're saying I'm Christ-like, I'm da-da-da-da, when I don't believe Christianity said anything saying that you can't say something about justice. You can't go to a protest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm not saying she's not going to, but I think in her saying, I'm not going to do the acts of what man is asking of me. I'm going to do the acts of what God is saying of me. Well, I don't know. Again, this is her perception of what the scriptures are reading to her, right? And something that is a very common thing within the Bible is that there are a lot of parables. There are a lot of stories that are made to give the give the story or the message of whatever needs to be said, right? But two, the roles of each person, their role, as obscure as it may be to other people within the story, their role, whether it's significantly small or significantly big, still plays a whole part later down the road. So it's like her saying, like, I'm not going to engage in looting, or I'm not going to engage in, oh my phone is saying,
oh jeez,
all my things are dying.
Oh no, oh, don't tell me it's gonna die right here.
Yeah, die.
Did it died for real?
Yeah.
All right, well, as you could tell, I won that debate. I'm joking. I was gonna say, like, and you know what I mean? Let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna remove you and bring you back. Manera says, it doesn't matter what. Imagine saying thanks for being. I said, I want to see the Christ thing. Also, Jesus turning thing was during the time when the Romans were persecuting Jesus. You turn your cheek to get the Roman in trouble. It was a way to use the Romans' rules against themselves.
And that is the only thing that I've been saying for the longest while for people. Use the shit.
We can't hear. They can't hear you.
Oh, you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we hear.
Put me on speaker for the time being.
Which makes sense.
Use the things that have been wielded against you against them.
Right.
Because people don't like being told. They like to dish out. The problem is
they're not gonna hear what you're saying. So I'm gonna be like answering to this.
You can repeat me.
You talk too fast. So Nerdzy's saying to use the same energy in regards to the protests.
You know what's funny? Do unto others as they do unto you.
Basically, this whole thing of do unto others, but basically what do unto you.
Exactly.
I totally understand that. I understand it. But at the same time,
what can you, if
when
it's
people
your
are, hold on. When people are mad and people are frustrated, they have all the right to say, hey, something is wrong. They have all the right to protest and say something. Oh. People are mad and people are frustrated.
Oh, there's a mad echo.
They have all the right to say, hey, something is wrong. They have all the right to say something is wrong. I believe.
And yes, you are totally right to say whatever is wrong, right? And I guess this is that little Caribbean part of me where the pettiness is real. If you don't like somebody,
the pettiness,
you know. No, for real.
We got 30 seconds left. Just letting you know, we got 30 seconds left.
Okay. But when the pettiness is there, right? The person says, and Kadeem said it best, do unto others, you know, what they've done unto you. Because it's their rules. You wanna this and that? Alright, I too can play that game. You wanna be whatever?
5. We gotta cut this off. We're gonna come right back. We're gonna come right back. Give 1 sec. Play that game. You wanna be 5. We gotta cut this off.
Oh, you're talking about the IG.
Yeah. Oh man, like that'd be wild, man. That'd be wild.
What's the video?
This is 90.
It's 90.
I just want to do a closed captioning brought to you by Hot Feet. As the fire hits the stores.
What do you
stay safe, guys? Like
what? How much? What episode is this?
This is episode 90.
90. Yeah, I wrote it down in my calendar.
I'll even say a potential title for this is "This Week Has Been a Lot." It's been a lot.
This week has been a lot.
It's been a lot.
It's just been a week, man.
I didn't post.
That's true. That should be the title. This week has been a lot.
Like
okay. All right, let's just.
So then people are gonna be like, "What was going on this week?"
I'm gonna come back on live. I'm back. Right. I don't plan to be here any more than half an hour.
That's fine. Just post it in the half an hour then.
Yo, I'm going live. I gotta say something. I got things to say. What up, dog? Something I gotta say right here.
Yo, I'm going live. I gotta say something. I got things to say. What up, dog? Something I gotta say right here.
Honestly, it's like schoolwork. Like, you can't even be happy a little bit.
All right, we back.
Holy, there's an echo. What?
Oh yeah, you gotta turn it down on your IG live.
The IG live?
I don't know what you did before to not.
It's because I had my headphones in. That's why.
Okay.
Oh, that sounds better.
I'm gonna echo regardless, but.
All right. Hi, Ira. Nice to meet you. It's been a long time since we've seen you. Okay. So back to what I'm saying for B Simone. It's one of those things that your supporters are going through things right now. Mm-hmm. It's like it's kind of like you're acting brand new. Because I don't think. Hold on, she probably was always this person, maybe, but I don't think
alleged.
I was gonna use the analogy of the same way you have friends for certain things. You have friends
because
for certain
we love
things.
You, Manera. We love you. We love you, Manera. That's why.
You have friends for certain things. If B Simone says she's not going to be in it for the fight, she's not going to have your back, then you just know she's not the friend to have your back whenever in a fight. That's it. Especially if it comes around social issues and stuff. She ain't the one. But don't hold it against her.
Which is the overall thing. Like, if celebrities are not really saying much about it, you don't hold them to a pedestal, which is
That's what I'm saying. Don't hold it against her because she says, listen, I can't speak on this. I ain't about to be a part of it. I am not here for it. I do not have the energy to exert to do whatever, right? I understand that I'm in a position that is of this, but my specialties are these. I didn't go to school for law. I didn't go to school for history. I didn't go to school for Black social issues. I didn't do that. I came to make y'all laugh, entertain the shit out of y'all, do a little funny dance, and say, what is it? Boyfriend, that's it.
You know what that sounds like? You know what that sounds like? I'm here to make you guys laugh. I'm here to make you guys be entertaining. I'm here for you to pay my stuff. I'm here for you to do this. I don't have let me count my
what? The empathy?
I don't have the education.
Or the empathy.
Or the empathy to worry or say something about what's happening to my people.
What do you say? She washing her hands?
It's not even washing her hands. She's counting money. So it sounds like I may be wrong, and I totally may be wrong, but it's kind of like some people are afraid to state that because they know they're gonna anger people. That's gonna cut their money out. They got something to lose. That's why some people keep quiet. They got something to lose, so they'll keep on dancing. They'll keep on chucking. They'll keep on jiving. You know what I mean?
But what would you prefer? Would you prefer somebody outrightly say, I do not have the tools and capability to help you?
Yes.
Versus.
Say that. Hold on. Say that.
Versus.
Okay. Go ahead.
Just being there for the shit. And then later on, she ends up doing the same damn thing that you went and fought against. What would you prefer?
We don't know how that's going to turn out. But I'm going to say this. You're better off saying, I don't know how to approach this. Or say nothing at all. Like, you're better off saying, I don't know how to approach this. You're better off saying...
Just as bad.
Hold on. You have money. You have people around you that you can talk to. You're famous. You know what I mean? You can't say that you don't have to. You have a PR. If you're a celebrity, you have a PR. And they're the people that's supposed to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, I'm a Christian. Like, for me, it's the Christian part. You can't be like, I'm a Christian, so I'm not going to speak about it, or I'm not going to say it because I'm Christian. when you know something, if something's wrong, that's the main thing. As a Christian, that's the main thing you should do.
But then that's the joke. It depends on what type of Christian she is, one.
There's
and
many
two,
types.
it also depends on what type of schooling she learned. Because there are different people. No, you can't say that, because there's new school Christians where piercings and tattoos and all that stuff is accepted, right? But then if you're Seventh-day Adventist, what? You want to get what? You better...
Yeah, and they don't eat pork and shrimp and all them sitting there. Yes, fair enough. But
it depends on what the upbringing, the messages aligned with her Christianity. We can't sit here and say, oh, this and that, and judge her because she says, I'm a Christian. If her Christian belief says she is not to engage in any type of those type of formalities, whatever those formalities are, how can we sit here and look at her and say, well, you're in a big space. You're a public figure. You know, what did she sign up to also be our saving grace?
You're better off saying nothing then, because put it like
but
this.
Saying nothing is equally as problematic.
No, it's not.
What do you mean?
Because a wise man, put it like this. A wise man once said nothing. You're better off saying nothing, than saying something foolishness. Because put it like this. I get it. There's new age Christians. There's different kind of Christians. But when it comes to injustice, when it comes to issues like this that's happening that everybody's speaking about, Christians speak about that. We're on that same line. No matter how much type of Christian, there could be 6 different type of Christians in a part of this whole Christ, like the Christianity, the realm, the Jesus, all that stuff. Injustice is one of those things that's there too. You can't be, I'm Christian and I'm not going to talk about it. You can say I'm Christian and I don't know how to talk about it, but you can't be like, I'm Christian, I don't want to be mad with everybody. No, Christians get mad. Christians have emotions. Don't make it sound like, like it's weird when I hear that, because it's like, nah, fam, can't go on. Sorry, can't go on. Don't pull Christian card for me. I go to church my whole life. Nah, sir. No.
But then, that's what I'm saying. But then that may be challenging the idea of Christianity for yourself as well.
Hold on. Christians were a part of the civil rights movement in the Canada and the United States. Come on now. Okay. No matter what we did about Christian this. No.
You have to remember, Christianity is just a practice of faith, right? That's all it is. It doesn't mean that this is somebody's legal or political stance. That's just their perspective on faith. We have to remember, the church and the state were separated. So if my girl wants to say she wants to stay holy,
I mean,
wants to stay
somewhat.
holy.
I'll say somewhat, because some rules were built off. Some biblically, some, you know what I mean? Like, things change, but like there was a biblical foundation on that. Fair enough. But when it comes to injustice, I feel like it's the same in Christianity. I feel like I don't know about the Qurans.
Wait a second.
I don't know about.
It's basically no gray area. You're either righteous or you're not righteous. Or wrong. Yeah.
There's still a part where it goes, some people have a gray area, like Seventh-day Adventists believe you can't eat pork and shrimp. You know what I mean?
And beef and things.
And I'm Pentecostal. I can't let jerk pork pass me. So, you know what I mean? It's kind of just, it's hard to put those skills in. But I know when it comes to something like this, pulling the Christ card is, I think Christians are like, well, for me, the way I see it, it's to be wise. When you say Christians, it's to be wise and think about what you're doing. I don't think it's about angry black women, stuff like that. That doesn't work. Oh gosh, my internet's disconnecting. It's interrupting, isn't it?
Yes, it's kind of like.
So how do I sound right now? You see how devil I work? I'm trying to preach to y'all, and this is what's going on. This is a sermon. Look how Seattle move. They don't want you to know this.
On a Drake night, especially. This is a Drake Sunday.
Does it sound better now? Oh no, it doesn't sound better. I can hear an echo.
No, you're fine.
I'm fine now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, don't give me. I don't want to hear the talking about, oh, because she's Christian, she doesn't have nothing to say. Nah. You can't. You can't. Nah. They're
But
not
that's
gonna
the
stand.
thing. What we're that's us projecting on her statement, right? Because like I said beforehand, her role in this whole situation could be that she's there after the war. After all of this goes over, she's there to be able to bring wealth to people after the war. She's able to salvage everyone after the war. So that's the reason why.
Is the case, you're better off saying nothing.
Why?
You are better off saying nothing because now you're saying something. Why would you say I'm not gonna like you? Why would you say why would she say in those tweets then?
Hey man, people tweet all types of things.
Why is she supposed to silence herself now? Because of unpopular opinion?
I'm not saying not silence, but think about what you put out there.
But she did.
I doubt it.
Did she apologize yet?
She did apologize because she believes in God and all that stuff. Fair enough.
But did she apologize about?
I don't think she's gonna apologize yet. I don't think she's gonna apologize because, hey, you know what? I'll say this: there, like myself and certain Christians, I'm gonna. There's B. Simone.
I'm talking about B. Simone.
B. Simone and her tweets on the protest.
Boyfriend.
The thing about some Christians, they have a lot of pride, and they will stand on something that is biblically incorrect until someone says, "Yo, that's not right."
Well, okay.
You know what I mean?
What would happen if she was like Noah right now?
Huh?
Would it be any different if she was a under the table Noah?
If it was Noah, Noah didn't say anything.
Noah didn't tell people to go make sure they cover themselves, make sure to
they knew
help
he was
them
building
with the boat.
they knew he was building an ark, but I don't think he said. I think he has said, "Hey." You know,
he did say something that was contrary to what everyone else's beliefs were.
But is that what B. Simone did?
She said something that was contrary to what everyone needs. Yes.
Nah, got it.
He said everyone needed a boat. Come lay a hand. Come help me. Come
no. He never said that. No. Sorry, he never said that. He never said that.
What did Noah say?
Noah didn't tell people to go and help build his boat. He built that boat by himself.
What did Noah say?
I don't remember what Noah said because I don't have my Bible on me. But one thing I could say.
But you can tell me what he didn't say?
I know he didn't say that. Of course, because he built the boat on himself. He built the boat by himself. He built it. He
didn't warn anybody. He didn't tell anybody, listen, I feel something in the air coming. You should protect yourself. You should do whatever the case may be.
I doubt.
And people looked at him and laughed, thought whatever. And he said, you know what? Fine.
Based off VeggieTales, and what I remember in VeggieTales, which was like 40. Well, not 40. I'm not even 40. 20
Stop
years
apologizing her bullshit. She's not your friend, and she'll never be your friend.
Damn.
Who is that for?
Who's that for?
I know. Who is that for?
Oh, Manera.
I mean, that's strange.
Manera, who is that for?
That's how you feel out.
That's how you feel out here? Nah, damn, Rudy.
That's just the one. Even the LL.
She already tied her own hands, but you can't get mad if people respond to shit you put out.
Okay, so by that same note, if she's saying I'm not gonna do whatever, I'm gonna pull back and do whatever secretly on her own, not including into whatever those protests, and people go and die and do whatever, isn't that the same as the floods of Noah?
Wait, repeat that again?
If she's saying, listen, I'm whatever God is telling me, whatever it is, right? Let's just say, just putting it out there, right? Conspiracy theory, because that's how we like to quote things, right? When it's not the norm or what's going to what people may perceive, the majority may perceive. So let's say she had some calling from the Lord. Lord said, do not business yourself in whatever is going on, right? All this protesting, all this stuff. The injustice is happening. It is not for you to participate or partake in this, right? She gives her statement. She was supposed to say the statement. That's the analogy we're going to use. Then, shack up, make sure your faith is in place, this and that, and you'll be protected, right? The people laughed, they went on the streets. We're saying the people going on the streets are like the people who didn't listen to Noah. Noah built his stuff, made his camp, did what he needed to do, and then when the time came and it was necessary, the rain came and his boat and him and all the animals were packing and going. So the faith part, who knows? Her faith, her saying that could be to tell everybody as a warning, go check your faith. Go check your stuff. Go read your things. Revisit whatever so you can wield yourself and get ready for when that flood comes.
Now, I'm going to say this. Okay, based off what I remember, I may be wrong. Someone could fact check me. I think you're getting like evangelism, evangelism in terms of people preaching and saying, hey, times are ending, to what happened in the Old Testament, where God was actually telling people, hey, this is what you do, boom. Yes, you had Moses that told, let people go talk to his people, but that was not the case for Noah. Like, that was not the case that Noah had to speak to people. Noah was told to build an ark, get people 2x2s, whatever. That was what it was. Mm-hmm. He stayed silent. He didn't preach it. He didn't say things or did any of that. Now, for B. Simone, it would be way better, because there are people that didn't say anything, but they are putting in money. They are putting in stuff. And yes, there's people that believe, oh, those people should still talk. But sometimes you're right. It is, honestly, I feel like it's best not to talk, and because you don't have nothing to prove to these people if you actually are doing something.
At the end of the day, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, if you're doing something, you don't have to say anything.
Yeah, but whether she says something or not, it doesn't mean that she's not doing anything.
The problem is, for me, when it comes to B. Simone, and I'll say, like, you can't say, because I don't know if I'm taking it the wrong way, but if you're saying, because I'm a Christian, I'm not going to do what everybody else does.
What's wrong with saying that?
It's not Christ-like. It's not. There's nothing in the Bible that says
I'm not going to do what everyone else does.
Hold on. Listen to me. Listen to me. Because you guys are misinterpreting things.
I'm not.
Hold on. Listen to me. Hold on. The Bible does not say to be silent towards injustice. It never said that. Never said that. The Bible did not say that you can't go to a protest.
Yo, this echoes.
The Bible
like right
did
now.
not. I don't know where the echoes come from. But yeah, the Bible did not say you can't go to a protest. Why am I so? Okay, whatever. The Bible said it did not say can't go to a protest. You can't you can't fundraise. You can't do any of those things. Just because, like, people like don't be like, why am I? You're wow, still.
I don't know what. Yeah.
Because it's because you're plugged in and not on my headphones. My headphones was the main reason why you didn't hear it.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of wild still because I didn't know how loud it was.
All right, let's see. We can live.
Okay, just to reiterate, just so it doesn't repeat it like the fourth time. Basically, you're saying don't put your faith to not do something. That's Jamie's point, and he's saying
don't say that because you're. What I'm trying to say here is don't say your faith said to do something when your faith says the opposite. That's what I'm saying.
How so though? If that's what her faith is, how can we turn around and say that too?
If her faith is hold on. If her faith is in Christianity, you can't say that it's your faith and you're doing the opposite. Because there's a lot of activists that were Christian and still stood up and protest and still still spoke, like MLK and others. You know what I mean? That's just what it is for me. Like it's hard for me to be like, oh, you know, because of Christianity, I'm not gonna be mad. People were mad. Yes, they were mad. But there's a way to utilize your madness. There's a way to say stuff and there's a way to do stuff. You know what I mean? But
right.
If you're saying like, oh, you know, what, you know, I'm because of my Christianity, I don't have to go to a protest. I don't know if that's what she's saying, but if you're saying because I'm a Christian, I don't have to go to a protest, you're wrong, because faith without works is dead at the same time. That's what it says in the Bible too. So
faith without works.
Faith without works is dead.
So it's works isn't put in the work in, you mean?
Put in the work in.
But that's what I'm saying. Like her attending a protest doesn't mean she is not working.
But
because she says, I am not, and mind you, we have to remember, she says, I am not going to work to the things of man. I'm going to think to the message of God. That's what she stated, right? So the whole uproar, she's not going to go and engage in whatever man is saying to do. But she's going to listen to what she feels is her faith. There's nothing wrong with her stating that. At no point does she say she's not going to, what's the word? At no point does she ever state that she is not for, what am I saying? At no point does she ever state she is for the injustice. She never states this. She just simply says, I'm not going to engage it the way that everyone is engaging it. We don't know what that means. But that could also mean she's going to be walking in one of the offices and she's going to sit down with a lawyer. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Here's another thing. This is one thing she did say in the tweet.
I'm not going to be an angry black person.
Yeah. Are people in the protest angry black women?
I feel her. I feel her. Because and now hear me out when I say this. The depiction is already a stereotype. Why am I going to make myself an easy target for people? Because when 2 years down the lane, listen to me, the same people are going to use the picture of somebody who's doing this, and they're going to spin the story, because it's not like it's the first time it's been done. It's been many times that has been done, where situations and pictures were given to people and they chose to spin the story to fit in their favor. Now, why would I put myself in a position for anyone to even put that on me in the first place?
I think because
if I'm not there in the first place, no one can
if you allow them to spin the
Allow
story.
them to what?
Hold on. If you allow them to spin the story, that's one. And two, if the truth is this, 2 years ago, the truth will still be like, the truth will still be that. You know your truth. They're
If
gonna
I'm
spin
not
it
out,
anyway.
if
They're
I'm
gonna
not
spin it.
outside,
Even if she's
no, if I'm
outside,
not outside,
even if you're
if
outside,
I'm
if
not
you tweet,
outside,
listen, if you're outside,
And
if
she
and you
said
take
no.
a picture
tweet,
of me, we have a prime example of the lady who's dragging up her dog.
oh
The
God, we're
man
gonna have to
stands
agree to
there.
disagree on this one
No,
still.
but the man is standing there with the video, and you see her as she engages in a full lie, a full blatant lie, right? The man stood there. He didn't cuss her. He didn't tell the girl, go suck your mama, like the other man from Pure Later or whatever, or FedEx or whichever one. There is even another case. There's two cases, right? Where that has happened. There was a guy who was dropping off stuff and a woman approaches him. She says that you look suspicious. And he's like, I'm doing my job, ma'am. The man stands there, listens to her as she goes back and forth, tries to get in his face, tells him, give me your badge number, give me your name. And she's like, no. He says, no, ma'am, I'm sorry. Versus the other man who says,
hold on. You know what's the thing about footage nowadays? You can't spin it. They already tried to spin the Amy Cooper thing. They already tried it. But whatever is there, it can't be spinned.
I understand that.
So even if she's out there on a protest and she's doing the Christ-like thing, that can't be spinned. How can that be spinned in 2 years? How? Especially when the whole world is, or North America is all saying the same thing.
What? Would it be different if everyone was kneeling?
We're gonna have to
wait, but doesn't.
I'm sorry,
but
that doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense.
No, not your part. I'm saying it doesn't. People are so hateful to us that they'll spin it no matter
They're
what.
Gonna spin it anyway.
Yes,
because
I understand people are going to.
But
spin
it doesn't
it
mean you be quiet because of that.
But there are certain things that are just apparent.
All right.
Like it doesn't matter if we avoid the trap at all costs. You're always going to be the target. Everyone has to remember this today. Where you're always the target, no matter what you do.
Yeah, but I guess that's just me feeling like, there's certain things that behavior-wise where it's just like it's a little much. Some people know that there's certain behaviors that are just much, regardless of who does it.
Only way I can say for this.
Oh, this thing froze.
This type of situation that throws me off is when there's other people are actually having mouth to speak, knowing what they can lose. You know what I mean? Everybody, people that are black, white, this and that. It's crazy because there's always this There's always this underlining thing of white supremacy. Everybody knows that like black people are dealing with something. Everybody knows this, but no one says nothing. Now everybody's saying something. You know what I mean? And you decide because you believe it's not because it's not biblical. It's not biblical. You believe that God said for you to keep quiet. Nah, that's not how it works. Because everything that God says lines in the Bible. But
wait, so okay,
that's what I'm saying. That's her when she reads her scriptures. If that's her role in this world and in this whole fight, that's her role.
Well, at the end of the day,
when the time comes, you don't send the nurses out on the floor with the soldiers.
But at the same time, you made this choice to be a leader or influencer out there.
Whoa. Actually, refute that because people don't choose. It's
exactly
it's thrusted upon them.
Hold on. Don't choose, whatever. But you're an influencer regardless. You are. So everything you say, people will follow sometimes. People will question. People will stuff. Whatever it is. But when it comes to something like this, when your own people are going through something, there's nothing in the Bible that says that you're meant to be quiet. Nothing.
Okay, but
So
that's you thinking that she's being quiet.
It's not me,
because I don't believe that. I don't look and read what she says as her being.
And then
quiet.
okay, another thing.
So that's two different
if that was
interpretations.
The case, why? And also, why would you even have to feel the need to say, "Oh, I'm not gonna be like these angry black women"? Like there's angry black women at a protest.
Because if you go off the narrative of white people, right, the stereotype, yeah, because as soon as you start talking, as soon as you start finding yourself in the street, you're fulfilling the stereotype that this is what they usually do.
But is it true?
There are people, exactly, it's not true.
Then it shouldn't matter.
But that's the point. That is the point. I'm not going to continue to subscribe to the stereotype that people already have me umbrellaed under. That's how I understand it.
Here's the thing: you're not subscribing
if
you
the
know
people
it's not
outside,
true.
If the people in the city already understand how people are, but if the people outside of the city come in and every time they're broadcast about people and they say this is what the media establishes this behavior as, labels this behavior as, when they come into the city, because they don't know anything other than, then the understanding and the depiction, when they see people rallying, they're going to only associate what they understand, what they've been fed. So I'm not going to continue to showcase the portrayal of a misunderstanding or what is not true. If I am being deemed as an angry black person every time I'm in the street, why in heaven's name am I going to find myself in the damn street? I do not need to be labeled
it's a
something that is not
it doesn't
true.
mean it's true.
Exactly.
It's a stereotype.
But there are some people who think those stereotypes are factual.
That's their problem. That's not our problem.
The same people who.
So are you telling me? So you're telling me?
Are the same majority that's killing us.
Hold on.
That's all I have to say.
Hold on. So you're telling me the stereotype is I like chicken. I'm gonna stop eating chicken because they told me I like chicken?
That was a good retort, actually. That took me back this.
Their stereotype is I like chicken. I'm gonna stop eating chicken because they said I like chicken.
And you stop saying it.
How is that gonna affect your life?
No, but like no, wait. Let me
it's the whole retort thing. You said stereotypically.
Use a better analogy.
So basically, okay, let's go food then, like watermelon chicken.
Watermelon. The stereotype is black people.
Wait. Let me do it.
Hold on. Black people. The stereotype.
Wait, Jimmy. Let me do it.
Okay.
Let me do it. So.
Can they hear you? I don't know if they'll hear you.
No, they can hear me. Like, cause basically it's, if you don't care about the outside opinions anyway, you don't care if they watch like the media and how you portray, like if you know your truth, then it shouldn't matter anyways. Cause if they don't like you from a spiritual DNA level, there's no convincing them of anything. Doesn't matter if you go in the trap or out the trap. They don't like you, period. So the damn situation you should be in is either you move silent and do whatever you do in the background, or you don't speak up. Because all these weird tweets I've been seeing lately is people don't want to be involved in it, but by speaking it or doing lyrical miracle stuff and kind of zigzagging out the point, you're in it. And when you say and tweet stuff, you're part of the criticism. So whether it's T.I., whether it's Killer Mike, whether it's LL Cool J, whether it's Lil Wayne, whether it's Lil B. Simone, Desi Banks, the moment you open your mouth, you're in the gauntlet.
It's kind of like saying
your opinion and you say your opinion, then all of a sudden now you're being in the crossfire. But the person asked me my opinion. Now why am I now involved? Because now I didn't want to say anything beforehand. Someone asked me a question and I answered the question. And now because you don't like my answer, now I'm involved.
That shouldn't matter.
That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like.
But it's not fair, but that's...
You're a public figure. You should have something to say. Use your platform to say something. Listen, I'm not here to entertain and say whatever the case is, to do whatever. So you're trying to say you're going to let people die? Is that what you're saying? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying I'm not here to use my platform to do such.
Which is fine.
But she's in the crossfire for that.
But
no, it's not fine, because clearly it's an argument. Clearly
when
It's
you
a
throw
huge
shade,
issue.
but you're basically, but I don't know if I'm making any sense here.
But the black woman comment could be
the angry black woman comment.
It's like, did you just say that after someone died kneeling there, even though it was a black guy? It's like, did you just say that? Like, that's not what. Like, it's not just black people angry. It's white people.
Not, and that's the sad reality. It's not just black people angry about it.
Yeah. So
you can't just even say it's one. I don't know, man. Ugh.
I see what James said. Like, it's like, first I separate myself by saying I'm a Christian and this is how I move and this is how I interpret it, right? Which we're arguing about. Like, there's no right answer to that. It's her interpretation with her and God. But the black woman part,
the black woman thing is, it's like you didn't need to say all that.
Sure, you're saying
to me that just sounds like going out in the street and having a whole fight. That's what that sounds like. Instead of going into buildings, going in and making policy changes, going in and taking the academic.
Said that's not something that's gonna happen. We never said that.
And I'm not saying
and she never said that either.
But my interpretation in saying that is saying I am not going to stand in the street. I'm going to go find myself in a building. I'm going to find myself in a book doing policy changes. That's what that seems like.
Well, we're speculating.
Basically. That's what my understanding is.
But at the same time,
when she's saying I'm not going to give people the narrative to turn around and say, oh, I'm out here trying to. And who knows what her understanding and experiences are when it comes to protesting. That could be one of the biggest. That's another part of the coin that black people don't understand. So for her to say, why are we not taking into account her experience?
I just want to wrap it up, but
wait, hold on. Wait, before that though, I know I'm not gonna be long, but the black woman part is weird because it's like, it's almost like she saw Instagram and said, look at you guys looting and everything. Oh, you angry black people. It's almost it's like dismissive.
It's dismissive.
Or it could be interpreted. It could be interpreted as dismissive.
It could be interpreted as dismissive.
I would rather be taking this another route. Because I think I look at that too.
We'll see what she tweets today.
Even when you think kind of slavery-ish, who is the people outside in the streets? If we're gonna put it as a slavery term, and if it's a stereotype, who's inside and who's outside when it regards to slavery?
Who's inside and who's
there's
outside?
There's an outside Negro and there's an inside Negro.
There's a house in the field.
There's a house Negro and there's a field Negro.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess if you think about all that stuff that comes with it, it could be, we could go all night, but I don't want to go all night with it because I just feel we can agree to disagree. I don't know how to, I feel like there was so much different ways of saying it without getting canceled, and it's okay. And also, at a time like this, it's okay to be a mad, angry black woman. Yes, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. There's never been.
Because it's part of your human nature anyway.
It's part of human nature to have emotions.
Yeah.
Like, just because you have money doesn't mean you don't have emotions. You know what I mean?
Like, who cares?
Okay, just because you have money doesn't mean you have intelligence either. Well,
fair enough. As we're seeing what's going on right now. So, but at the end of the day, let's just hope things go better for us black people. People are burning down things, and
I'm not hoping it will.
I hope it has the same energy, and
it will.
The problem I say it because people follow trends, so people might just follow what's hype and then just disappear when the time comes. I hope they have the same energy when it comes to their votes, their box office, because all it takes is for something to switch up and be like, So
I know, right? It's for people to say, you know what, change is going to happen.
Right. So
just today.
It is the time to be mad as well, though. I'm gonna be that. This is time if you wanna. Hey, a life was taken away that didn't need to be taken away. It didn't.
At the end of the day, yeah.
So I'm not gonna sit here. I can't sit. Like I said, like 3-4 podcasts before. I've said this. Like, people have the right to be mad and react, and this is what's going on.
Right. And like those 4 podcasts before, I said people need to find the time to execute their power in changing the policies and the laws that are going around that's affecting them.
And that should come, and it will come, because, hey, look what's going on. Everything's being exposed. Everything's getting big. But, hey, sometimes a right have to. Sometimes you got to burn shit down to build things up.
Well, just make sure you're burning the right ones. Just don't be fucking up my shit.
That too. That's true. I wish there was a way to mark black businesses on the wall, but I mean, I hope. Hey,
yo, I actually seen pictures of signs where like it'll say black. It'll put a hashtag BLM, BLM, BLM. Don't break this open. BLM. Don't break my business open.
Yeah, I've seen someone put BLM on a Starbucks. I'm like, dope. Anyway, I'm done. I'm done for the night. I'm done. We're gonna have to wrap this up. Manera, we'll be all night with this. But if you have any questions, send it to askthevent@gmail.com. Our link tree at the Vent Pod. It's on our Instagram. You can see our stuff there. All the links will be there on our Instagram. Thank you guys for listening to this